Okay, let's start to build this PC. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take out the power supply. And this is for the reason of electric static energy. So basically, sometimes, you know, when you get static when you're going in a car or things like that, sometimes this can happen as well when you're building a PC. But we don't want that because sometimes this can actually damage the motherboard or other components. So a cool trick about that is if you take the power supply unit, I'm going to put this in the corner over here. I'm going to take this power cord over here, leave the rest of the things inside. We're going to plug this in, and then I've got a socket underneath there. And now when you touch this, boom, you've been earthed, which means that all the static goes away like that. So we're just going to leave that there. Time to time, I'm just going to touch it. Next up, we're going to take up the motherboard. Inside the motherboard over here, as you can see, if you look inside the box over here, Aaron gets a close-up, there is a little arrow over here that points up, which means if the arrow is pointing down, don't pull it up because your motherboard will fall down. So you can check as well, you see, okay, I'm the right way, so I can pull it out like that. There's two boxes inside. I'm going to take both of these out. So inside here, we have the motherboard, and in here we have some accessories. So different boxes. This over here is actually the M.2 expansion slot. So basically it's PCIe Gen 4. If at any point I'm going too complicated and you don't understand what I'm talking about, leave a comment below. I'm happy to explain what I'm talking about. But basically this is a card that you can put extra M.2 or SSDs on your motherboard and have some faster, you know, basically slots for your SSDs. And there's some other cables in here, there's some antennas and things over there. So we're gonna leave that on the side at the moment because we're gonna have to work on this over here. I'm gonna leave that box over there. We're gonna take the motherboard out from this side. Okay, it's quite heavy. And then we're gonna turn this box around and we're gonna build it on the box over here, okay? So I'm gonna gently take the motherboard out, trying to not to touch any components really. We're gonna put the motherboard over here, like that, gently down like that. Now before I go any further, touch it again, get myself grounded. So before we're going to put this motherboard into the case, we're going to put a few things in here. First off, CPU. Okay, so this is going to go slot in there, so be careful not to drop any stuff in there because all these little pins or holes over there, if anything goes in there, it might actually damage what's happening. So we're just going to take out this top bit over there. There is actually a cooler down there as well, which we're not going to need because we've got a better one, so we don't need anything else. So if you're building exactly the same build, just leave that, put that back down there. Gently open this like this. Okay. And now don't touch the top over here because you don't want to leave any grease or little things on the top over here. What you want to do is check where there is little arrow on the side over here. So if Aaron gets a close-up over here, you can see that, okay, can you see that on this bottom corner over here, there is little yellow arrow on this corner. Okay, so this arrow needs to fit that corner over there. So what we're going to do is open this over here so that this comes open like that. Can you see? When this is open, you can slot it in. Goes in without any force. Remember guys, without any force. I'm just gonna slot it in there like that. That's it. Now once it slots in, you don't have to press down any hard or anything like that. Push this back down on the side, boom, the CPU is installed. You don't need to do anything else. Next thing what we want to do is actually get prepared for the CPU cooling. Usually you would go straight to the RAM, but I know that I've already done a little bit of research. I need to remove these over here to actually install the CPU cooler. So we're going to do that first, and because otherwise the RAM might be in the way and things like that. Let's do that first. So this is the big bad boy cooler over here. Now I'm gonna open this accessories box over here, okay? So in this accessories box of this is the cooler, okay? This is the Noctua Noctua cooler. There are a few instructions over here. One is LGA115X. One is AMD LGA20XX. What we have here is AMD Ryzen processor. So we're going to take up the AMD instructions. Let's take 4 of these gray ones out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so what we need to do is undo these 4 screws over here. Can you see these 2 black? Okay, get a close up over here. So these 2 black bars over here with 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. We're gonna have to take these out. Okay. Just hold on to the motherboard a little bit. They're not too. Don't go too hard. Don't press down too much. Okay. So for those of you who have actually opted out and not bought the extra cooler, you don't need to take these out. You're just going to install your cooler straight onto these strips over there, which is even easier. So if you're doing that, just follow the instructions there. Inside the CPU box, there are some instructions how to install your CPU onto these little hooks over here, which is super easy. There's just like a hook that goes on the side, and then you can follow that. But in our case, we have something a bit bigger, so we don't want to do that. So we don't need these. We're going to take these out. Now the next thing is, these are going to be the spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 spaces there, as you can see, gray ones over there. These 2 bits over here, it's gonna go like that. Okay, the screw bit over here points up, and then these go on the side. So that also there's like 2 holes on the side. If you can get a closer up over here, there are 2 holes on the side. So what we have to do is we're going to have to go with 4. Let's see over here. Can you see? 3 and 4. Because ours is AM4 socket, the screws go over there. So now we have to make sure that it points in like that. Okay, so 1 screw through over here. Gently pointing it in there. And now 2. Now we can just tighten this one side like that. So I'm not tightening it too much, just a little bit. Just enough to give it a bit of tension. And then now the other side. Now you've done it right when it's pointing outwards. So the bend kind of is inside. So the outside of the curve goes towards the actual, okay, as you can see on this angle, the bends go inside towards the processor, and then outside is like these little screws are pointing upwards. Then it looks good and okay. So the next thing what we're going to do is insert RAM over here, but as you can see over there, because we only have 2 DIMM sticks or 2 RAM sticks, there are 4 slots, but you have to put them into the right ones. So in here there's like a little cheat sheet, so you can see that this is 1, 2, 1, 2. So we're gonna have to put it onto the from the processor. We're gonna have to put it on the 2nd and 4th one, because we only have 2 ones. Slide it open. Okay, see, there are 2 slots. Doesn't matter which one goes to which one, they're exactly the same. Take it out, okay. And before we slotted them in, just remember, it's 2nd and 4th one, okay. Point these little side clips out. So like open it, like that. We're gonna open the socket. And then now just make sure that it lines up, that this hole over here in the middle lines up with the hole in there. Because so at the moment I can see that this way is right, but if I would turn it the other way, it wouldn't actually go in. Can you see that? The hole over there is not lining up. So they're gonna go in this way, like that, okay? And all you have to do is press down until you hear click. Perfect. That's it. Feels a bit scary, but it's all okay. Pressing down until they pop back up. Boom. Perfectly installed. The next thing what we're going to do is install our M.2 drive, which is the OS drive. Okay, this one in this tiny little box over here. This panel over here, 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, they're gonna have to come out. Okay, 2 of them are a little bit smaller. Let's see if we can still use the same screwdriver. No, let's use something smaller. That will do. So we've got a smaller screwdriver over here. These small screws, undo them. Don't lose them because we're actually going to need them. Just put them on the side. This out and this out. Okay, this is loose as well, I think. And so is this. Okay, just make sure you don't lose the screws. Underneath here, there are 2 M.2 slots. As you can see, this one over here and this one over here. Okay, that and this. This one that's closer to the motherboard, you can see over here next to it, it also says M.2 1, which is the right one. Okay, so we want to install our SSD over here. Our M.2 drive will go over there. We need to check whether this actually standoff of the screw is in the right place. If it isn't, we might have to move it a little bit. So what we're going to do is take it out from this box over here. Tiny little thing inside here, and just check it. Okay, as you can see, we have to move it to the last screw hole over there. It doesn't quite fit. Can you see the screw hole is in the middle over there, but we're gonna have to move it all the way to the back one over there. You can use the same screwdriver you did your previous screws. Undo the screw. Put it in the back one, tighten it up. And now how you install this drive is you're gonna slot it in like that. There's only one way it can go. It goes on an angle a little bit, so don't worry about it. Just slot it in and it kind of keeps pointing up. That's perfectly fine. So basically what this is like a thermal paste type of thing. We're gonna have to take that one up and then slot it back down. If you put it above it, how it was, this little cover, you take it up, you can see that this one over here, can you see the smaller one is the one we're gonna have to peel off because that goes on top of the drive. The other one is for this other drive over here, which we don't have at the moment. So we're gonna take this one off over here, just like that. Okay, it comes off with the black stuff. Also, I forgot to tell you that I'm gonna have to take this off because these are standoffs as well. I've already got this over here, so I'm gonna have to take this standoff off over here. I could have done it before, which would have been much easier, but basically this standoff over here, as you can see that one, that's next to our, what we just peeled off, I need that off, okay? So I'm just gonna hold on to it with that and then screw it perfectly. That's it, it comes off now. Now I can take that off. Okay, slide it back. Line it up. Okay, it's lined up. I'm just going to screw that one in first, which was over there underneath our drive. Okay, if you know what that just did, just screw that in. Perfect. Screw that one in now there. Okay, that one went all the way in. Tighten that a little bit more. Okay, these sides are a little bit higher now. So we're going to take those black screws. Tighten them properly. Now this thermal paste underneath there is actually making this whole thing into a heatsink, distributing the heat a bit better. Okay. M.2 drive on. Now becomes the bit where we're going to look at this cooler, this bad boy cooler over here. This is gonna have to go over there. So we're gonna take this out from the box over here. There's a plastic cover underneath there. Can you see that? So I would leave it in there and then just pop it back over there for a moment, because we're gonna have to take this fan out for a second and then put it back on. So there are clips on both sides over here. Can you see that? There's clip on this. If you just pull that out like that, and then the other side as well, this side, can you see? So you push it out. Okay, I've got one side off, and then the other side as well. Boom, one clip off. Then doing the same on the other side. I'm gonna show you it like this. See, it comes off easily like that. Okay, there's a cable attached to it as well. So just be careful, pull it up. Perfect, now the fan comes off. Okay, see there's 2 screws on the bottom over there. Okay, this screw, and then that screw. These screw into there, okay, there and there. So before we're gonna do that, there's only one way it can go. It can go this way. It's identical this way and the other way, so it doesn't really matter which way you put in it. Don't touch that bottom of this plate either at the moment. Leave the plastic on. What we're going to do is put a little bit of thermal paste, okay? So the paste goes like that. In the middle of it, put just like a tiny little pea. That's it. That's how much. Don't need much. That's all you need, okay? Pull it like that. Line it up perfectly. Put it on the screws. Okay. You're gonna have to press down a little bit on these to get the screw go in, but that's okay because it needs to create this pressure on the CPU. So let me pull you this way so you can see. And I'm just gonna take a better screwdriver. Can you see this here? This needs to slot over there. So I'm just gonna press it down a little bit. It is lining up. Just a tiny bit of pressure over there. Okay. There we go. Now we have to do is get equal pressure on it. Okay. What they say is like 2 to 3 turns each on both sides of the CPU, and then go to the other side. So it kind of turns it down equally. And then they just say that fully tighten them down. Okay. Once it's tightened full, it's okay. You know when you're full. It just goes completely different strength, just goes hard. That's it. That's it on that side as well. So that's it. The cooler is now down. I'm gonna put this one back into the middle. Okay, obviously this cable here goes downwards, not to the top. This goes down because you need to plug it in later on. Okay, we're just gonna slot it back down like that. Okay, all the way down, and then when you've lined it up somewhere over there, just gonna plug it back in. Very easy. Boom. Do you see that? You can count the kind of places where you've plugged it in, so to see it if it's completely level, because on both sides of the hooks they can be a little bit this way or that way, if that makes sense. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. So one more thing I'd like to mention is it's very important that the fans both blow the same way. Okay. So the only way how you actually should be plugging them in is that the sticker ChromaMax that's inside there as well should be facing to the radiator. So when you look down, there's like a bigger gap on this side over here. Yes, there is no sticker down there. Can you see that? And the same with this one. So the sticker is here, and then on the other side there is just this little black little strip over there. Can you see this bit over here? This. Okay. So that goes, let me point it back towards you. So this fan goes there like this. Okay, the cable pointing down. That's this going over there like that. So it doesn't go the other way. Okay, the sticker needs to go inside so everything looks black. We need the clips, which are over here. Same clips as on the other one. I'm gonna attach it to these first. Clip goes on exactly the same way as on the other one. If you don't know how to do it exactly, just look at the other one. So basically, what you do is put it on like that. Make sure that this goes from the middle. Put one side in. Pull all the way to the other side. Push that in. Boom. The clips are on. Okay. Touch that. Now the cable's facing down on this side. And then now let's put this one on as low down as possible. Somewhere over there. That looks good to me. So the only thing is, just make sure it's not touching your RAM over there. At the moment, it's slightly actually touching my RAM, but because there's middle slots are missing, it's completely fine. As you can see down there. Now comes the bit where we're gonna have to plug them in. The cables, plug them into the right ports on the motherboard. So if you are going with maybe upgrading RAM later, you don't actually have to have this second one over here, which we're going to because we have space over there, but you don't have to put this. You can put this on the case, for example, or somewhere else. You don't have to put it, next to it. But at the moment, it's blowing air through this tower and then blowing air through this tower, which is perfect. If we're gonna turn it towards you over here, so on this side, can you see over here? It says CPU fan 1, okay? The CPU fan 1 over there. So what we want to do is that both of these fans will go into one. So inside the box over there, there is one adapter that just 2 cables goes into one. So what we're going to do is take both of these cables from both sides, okay, and plug it into them 2 over there. So okay, 1 and 2. And now this one side of the end, that goes onto this CPU fan over there, okay? Goes this way. Okay, perfect. Now I'm just trying to hide these cables here as much as possible. This is ready to be installed into the case. So we're gonna have to make some room over here, put the case over here. Let's take some of the bits out so the case would be a bit easier and wouldn't have any floppy bits. So this front panel, I'm going to take off, as well as this metal cover. This side panel, back panel over here, can you see? Take a close up, this screw and that screw. Undo them. Okay, pull this side off. Okay, this glass. I know there's films on the glass on both sides, but just pull the glass off like that. We're going to put the glass on the side as well. In the bottom on the other side of the case over here, we're going to take these out. There are a few case screws which we're going to need, and this one, and then all the cables. Let's turn this way. Okay, now inside here there are 6 standoffs. There is 1 inside here, 2, 3 in the middle. Okay, this middle one is like a kind of plug thing, so it actually is like a pointy rather than actual hole. Okay, so at this point we don't have to change that, because that hole over there is the same hole as it is over there, and it's really hard to screw it in from there because it's actually a little bit on the way. We could, but we don't have to, because we have a screw hole on that side and this side, so it will be fine. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 places where we're going to have these screws, and then this is exactly in the right place. Let's take this motherboard on the side over here. I'm just going to hold on to the cooler, and then on this side, okay, and then gently lower it down hold it onto the motherboard sides and then lower it down. Push it on that side and then slowly see. Okay. Okay, perfect. So basically, you know it's in when this, okay, let me get this one. When you know that screw hole over there, that one is actually in. So basically, this is little peg over there, this is in, and then all the screw holes, as you can see, they're perfectly lined up with the motherboard. And as we can see, the I/O on the back is already perfect as well. Next up, what we need to do is screw this in. So there was 9 screw holes, but actually the middle one is just the standoff. So we need actually 8 screws. So this was the box that was inside the case. Inside here, we're gonna find the motherboard screws, okay? So basically, which ones are the right screws? We have screws that have like this big head with a flat big head. Then we have these big ones with a bit bigger thread. Then we have longer ones, there's a standoff and tiny ones, and then there's the right ones. So basically, they're these quite tiny screws, but they have a round head. So if you're not sure which ones they are, if you look closer over here, then this one over here, so this is the kind of profile of the screw. So they're quite short, and then the head is a little bit round. We need 8 of these. There are 24 in the packet, so we need 8 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can you see there is one over there? Try not to move the motherboard around too much on the screw holes, because if it goes off too much, it might start damaging the back of the motherboard and maybe some of the connections. Okay, so just gonna put it there. Okay, perfect. Okay. Don't tighten it down perfectly or all the way, because you might get it a little bit in the wrong place and you want to move it around a little bit. So now this corner over here, on the same side, just push this motherboard a little bit. Okay, that goes in easily. Okay, and now once we've got the screws in, just a little bit tighten them a little bit more. They don't need to be very tight. Just tightening them all the way so they're not loose. So one last part to put in here now. Once we have this case on this side, actually, what we're going to do is we're going to install the graphics card. Okay, the graphics card goes in there. We're going to take it out from here. Look at this graphics card. There's nothing much in here. Just the graphics card. There's like a safety clip or safety cover on the actual connections over here. It comes off like that. So next what we want to do is actually measure which back we're going to take off. Okay, let me just check. It goes in like that. Okay, so we know that there are like these back covers because you've got some ports that come out from the back over there. So we're going to have these second and third one to come off because it's a Corsair case. It comes very easily. Just, okay, maybe it doesn't come that easily. Second and third one, just loosen them up slightly. Yeah, okay. So now these two, we've got the screws off over there. And then these just slide up. Slide 2 of them up. I'm just going to put them on the side here at the moment. These screws. So when you look inside, this is the slot we're going to put it onto. Not the tiny one, but this one over here. Okay, this slot over here is PCI Gen 4 because we want the fastest speed. Just open that one. Stuff you have to do for a video. Okay. Okay, and then just slot it in there. Okay, there's nothing, really nothing that can go wrong. Okay, push it in. That's how simple it is, really. What we want to do is just screw it back in over there so that our, graphics card actually stays very solid and doesn't move at all, because these same 2 screws that we had over there, remember, I'm just going to put them back in there, back in the same holes they came from. Slot it back in there. Now the graphics card is installed, and I've put both of these screws back in there. So also you don't have to worry about, oh, where are these screws? And just screw them back in. You don't really need 2, you can put 1, but you know what? It's all solid in there, it doesn't move anywhere. Perfect. Now we're gonna pull the case up and we're gonna do some cables. Something that we could have done before as well, but is perfectly fine to do it at the moment, is there is one fan on the top over here. But actually what we want to do is put 2 of these fans in the front, so that we have 2 front fans that blow the air in. These blow also the air this way, and then the back one blows it out. Does that make sense? Okay, so the airflow comes in from there and then goes through there. Okay, this way. We're gonna go in the back over here. So basically this fan cable, which is this one over here, we're gonna have to find the end of this cable, okay? I'm just gonna pull a little bit on it because it's just zip tied over here. We wanna actually undo this zip tie a little bit, because I can put it back later. Leatherman to the rescue. Just be careful not to cut anything else but the zip tie. Okay, just cut that one because I need to move it around a little bit. So this cable over here, okay, it's this one on the side over here. Pull it out like that. Perfect. Okay, once it's out, leave it out like that. And then there's 4 screws on the top over here. They're quite big screws. To just hold on to the fan so it wouldn't drop inside. Keep pressure on the top. On the other side, this hand is holding pressure on that side. Now slowly pull it out this way. Okay. Now this is just, the front of this over here. There's a magnetic cover. You can open it like that and then just pull this one out. This is magnetic covers as well. This one comes out. We're just going to put that one on the side with other panels at the moment. As you can see, we've got one fan over here. We're going to want to install another one on this side over here. Okay, so basically we'll want the other one to go there like this, okay? But we want it to be as high as possible. First up, what we're gonna do is just loosen these screws on the already existing fan over here. Then we just slide it a little bit higher, okay? And then tighten it over there. This one will go there like that, okay? Because we don't want to blow too much air on the bottom over there, going along the bottom. We just want main airflow to be in the main top compartment. So basically, we'll put one screw over there. So basically, it's the maximum that it can be with just the screw on the bottom ledge over there. Now this cable over here, okay, remember, we're gonna have to put that somehow through to the other side. Can you see? Okay, here. That's where I'm trying to get it go through to the other side. Perfect. See? There we go. Can you see it come through to the other side? Coming through there. Basically just finding a way where I can hide the cable as much as possible. Next up, as you can see over here, there is some cables. I'm just gonna, well, obviously, but I'm just gonna take them loose over here so I can see what cables are there. So basically these are the case cables. Okay guys, so basically what we want to do now is there's loads of cables in the back over here, as you can see. One by one we want to attach them to the motherboard. So first cable I'm going to pick up is this cable over here. I'm going to put it through so you can see. I'm going to put it through this hole over there. Can you see that one over there? Okay. Okay, can you get a close-up of this? So basically what this cable is that is the USB-C port that's on top of the case over here. So where this is gonna go in is, point it a little bit towards here. On the motherboard, you get like a pointing tool over there. Can you see that in there? It says JUSB 5 on it. So this goes literally slots straight into it, okay? Perfect. Once it's in, pull all the cable as much as possible back, okay? Leave it like that, don't bend it too much. Next up is this cable over here, okay? Let me get a close up over here. There's like 10 times 2 pins, so kind of 10 pins and 10 pins. If you can put it through the same hole over there, okay, coming out over there. Now you want it to go in the ports over there. Okay, let me get a pointing tool again so I can show you. Okay, you want to put it over there. Can you see that? Okay, inside there, this port over there. Okay, there's two. There's this one and that one. They're exactly the same, but you want to put it on the top one, okay? Just for the easiness, I'm just going to take the USB-C cable that we put in before. I'm just going to take that one out just to make a bit more space for me to do this maneuver. This is a little bit of an awkward angle, but we can do it. Okay, I'm just going to take this out at the moment as well. Put the rubber thing through the cable first. Okay, so I'll show you on this side. Plug it through somehow. And now let's go back into this side. Okay, guys, as you can see over here, Aaron's angle over there, that is plugged in over there. Can you see that? It's plugged in. But if you see on the other side, it's really tight over here on this one. So make sure you take that rubber thing off and then go gently on these over there. You don't want to bend any of these pins over there, because then that means that your case USBs won't work, which is not the worst case in the world, but you know, we want this to be a perfect build. So make sure you go gently in. You might want to push down on the motherboard on the other side a little bit. On this side, push it this way, and then it goes in. It's touching the case, but it's fine. It's completely fine. There is not a lot of pressure, so as you can see, I'm moving it a tiny bit. It's completely fine. My intention is to just kind of leave it there and maybe hide it like that later on there, so you don't see much on the other side. Just leave it there loose like that. If you want, you can take this completely off. It's up to you. Let's push back our previous cable, this one over there. We know where that one goes over there. Let's put that back over there. Let's go back to the case cables that we have on the back over here. There is one over here that says audio on it. It's quite simple. So basically, push it through in the back hole over there, so it comes through there. As you can see in the bottom of the motherboard over there, it says J-Aud1. So we want to plug it in over there. Just make sure that the pin that is dead goes in the right side up. Okay, so it goes this way. That's plugged in over there. I'm going to leave it on the bottom over there. Now we have a few more smaller cables over here that are coming through. Okay, push them all through there. As you can see on the bottom over there, there are, from the bottom starts 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 is without the pin, okay? Sorry, there's one more cable. I knew there would be one more. So now we have 4 cables. One says HDD LED, reset switch, power LED minus, power LED plus, and then power switch. So if you see on the very bottom right corner of the motherboard, there are 9 pins. And then the 10th pin is missing. Underneath it says JFP1, and then it starts like this. The bottom left corner is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10 is missing. The HDD LED, that plus goes to 1 and then minus goes to 3. So that goes in like that. Then we have the power LED, plus goes to 2 and minus goes to 4. Power switch goes to 6 and 8. So on the top 2, power switch facing up. Let's put the actually bottom one first. So we have the reset switch so that the writings are down, goes to 5 and 7. Okay, and now power switch goes to there like that, and that is perfect. Now let's tighten these cables all up, pull them all back. Push them back on that side as much as possible, leave it a nice clean look. Okay, welcome. It's another day. I've shaved. I'm a little bit older, but basically I accidentally made an accident on ordering a part. When I ordered the power supply, I had it all linked up, but for some reason I added a different one in the cart, which I didn't recognize until we actually bought it. But the one I actually went for is the Corsair RM650. You can actually go for 650 as well, because there's not too much power being actually pulled out, because we're only using one GPU and it's not that powerful. But good to know that I bought it off Amazon and I could only order it for next day delivery, so I already had it here, so we can continue this build. We're actually going to change a few things. For example, this little switcher over here that we put all of our fans onto over here, but we're going to take all these fans separate cables, so I can know that this cable in the back over here is separate. I'm just going to take that one out. Take that cable out. Okay, come on. Okay, there we go. That one out. Take this this is the bottom fan. We're going to take this one out as well. And then the top fan, we're also going to take that one out. We're going to mount them all onto the motherboard on system fan ports. At the moment, I have 2 free cables over here, 1 and then 2, which is like a SATA power whatever thing that came from here, so we just can ignore it completely. Also, what I've done is the separate little rubber mount over here that we used to take out from this side. I'll put it over there because nothing's going to go through there actually, and we're just going to mount. It just makes it a cleaner look from the other side. Let's take this power cable from here. Okay, that goes through that hole over here. And then that is going to go onto this port over here, system fan. Okay, that's done. Okay, and then we've got some system fan ports on this side. As you can see, there's 1, 2 over there. I'm gonna take these out and then put them through the top hole over here. Okay, so this is the top one. And then that's the bottom one. Perfect. Okay, so they're both on system fan ports over there. Now comes the last part, the power supply. This is fully modular power supply. A few more cable ties and screws. So this is like the block from the top, and there are a few things we need to plug in over here. Let's take all of our cables from here. Okay, we have the power cord. We're gonna need that. PCIe, we need 1 of those, because this is for the graphics card. Then we need this big bad boy over here. This goes to the motherboard. This is like the 24 pin. Okay, and then we're gonna need 2 of these cables over here. Okay, both of these say CPU on it, and they're 8 pins. So as you can see over here, CPU, and then the other one says CPU on it as well. 2 of these, they look exactly the same from both sides. Yes, because we don't have any actual hard drives to go in here, we don't need any of the other ones, but they're necessary if you're gonna mount any hard drives in there or SSDs. You're gonna need power for that from these. We're gonna need to first of all plug them in here, so we don't have to do like put our hands underneath there and do all this sort of thing. So I'm gonna take this biggest cable in here first. So the 24 pin side goes actually to the computer. So what we're gonna have is here, this side over here, the type 4. So we're gonna plug one in on the top, okay, top right corner. and then the other one goes next to it over here, okay? You can't really go wrong with these because they don't fit anywhere else, so that's the easiest thing. If you think, man, it's not going there, it's just because it's not supposed to go there. Now the CPU cable, I believe the CPU part 1, the CPU side over here, the CPU side goes into the CPU, so I'm going to leave that one out, and then plug the CPU one underneath the 24 pin, and we're going to do exactly the same with the other one. Plug it in underneath there. Okay, boom. These two are for the CPU, and now we need one for the graphics card. Okay, so the side where there's two, like, kind of, you know, spreading out, where there's one and then kind of continuous loop over there to the next one, that is for the graphics card, and then the other side goes into this port over here. Okay, on the back over here, goes over here. There are a few places where you can put it. Yeah, so I'm just gonna put it on the top over here. Now, we're just gonna lay it in the bottom over there. But the thing is that I'm going to leave the fan on the bottom again because I want the fan to kind of pull the air from the bottom. So that's what we're going to do. Until I've actually mounted all the cables, so I'm not going to plug it in because it's just easier that way. So these two CPU cables have to go through this hole over here. Okay, so I'm going to patch them through. They are going to into these two holes over there. Okay, CPU power 1 and 2. Let's do one cable at a time. I want to go underneath this. Let's go this way. Both of them are in. You know that they're in when both of these top clips have actually clipped through. So if you look from here, you can see that both of these are actually clipped into the back. There's like a little hook, you know, that kind of goes and then clips back in. We're gonna do this 24 pin one, and that one goes through the middle hole over here. You can see there's only one port where it can go, just on the side over there. When the clip is actually in, it's clipped in. It didn't make that much of a sound, but it is in. The last one is GPU. So what we're gonna do is push this out from the hole on the other side over here. Okay, so it should come out from that side. So if you see it from this side, it's come out from that hole over there. Then we're gonna want to put it into that port over here. Now, I wouldn't put it onto the very end port over there, but I would put it into the middle one. So basically, you plug it in that way. Push them through like that, so it looks nice and clean. I'm just gonna double check that all my case power switches and things like that on the bottom over there are actually still plugged in nicely, because it's very easy to get them loose or undone very easily. Last screws in the back to do. So I'm gonna take these 4 screws that came with the power supply unit over here. Now this is the moment of truth to see if we've done everything right. So I wouldn't plug anything else back in or put anything back, or even don't worry about the cables. We want to check that everything works, okay? So we just want to plug it in. Okay, now we need a monitor, but instead of bringing a big monitor, I've got this one camera monitor over here, which works perfectly fine. HDMI in. And then we're going to put the other one in the back over here. Let's take the HDMI port out, plug it in the back over there. Okay, so now this is connected. Last thing, the power cord. Take the plastic cover off. I've switched it off from the wall over there as well, so I'm going to put it behind here. Obviously the power switch is off. Okay, plug it in. That's all in. Plug it in from there, plug it in from here. Okay, we can see that that red dot is on over there. Moment of truth. You know, switch this power button over here. Okay. Okay, looks like we've got it. As you can see over here, the boot is on red because we don't have actual, there is nothing inside. We just want to see if it's actually booted up, found all the components, and that is absolutely perfect. So we see that the fans are spinning. The fans are spinning over there. It's extremely quiet. I just realized that I forgot to plug in the USB-C plug. That is for the actual case, but it's okay. It's still booted, as you can see. You can make mistakes like that. So I'm just going to show you what it says on the screen over here. So basically, it is saying here that we've got the AMD Ryzen 9 3900X 12-core processor. We've got RAM 65 gigabytes. And then it's just saying, press F1 to run setup, press F2 to load default values and continue. So what we want to do now is actually power it back off, which we're just going to hold on the power switch. It's gone back off. It's perfectly fine. We're just going to plug that USB-C cable back in. Feels like it's not like properly moving in, but it actually is, so it's fine. Remember? It just goes over there. There it is. Okay, we know this system works. What we want to do is install Windows. Okay, I'm going to show you everything what you need to know for Windows as well, but I've already made a USB installation disk for Windows. Basically, what we want to do is plug it into one of the USB ports and then let it boot from there, and then it's basically going to pull out the settings from here. But before we're going to do that, I'm going to get a bigger monitor so you can easily see what's actually happening and what am I going to do. So if you're doing this by yourself, you know exactly that if you follow these steps, you can do exactly what I've done and get the same results. We're not going to do the cable management yet. We're going to do that very last. By the way, we need a keyboard as well, which I've got one over here because we need to press some buttons and things like that. Okay. Get this plugged in over here. Put it into one of the top ports over there. We also want to get a mouse. I've got my Logitech mouse, so I'm going to put the transmit or the receiver over here in the back in the keyboard and mouse ports. Press the power button again and boot it up. Oh, sorry, 1 second. We're just going to plug in the USB into one of these back ports over here. I'm just going to put it, plug it back there where it's next to USB-C. Okay, it's plugged into there. Press the power button. Okay. It's coming on. Let's see what comes on the screen over here. See that? Can you see these little things over here? The Windows installation has started. Okay, and that's how simple it actually was. It was just gonna figure it out. Oh, okay, we've got a USB stick in. Let's do it together. So, language, United Kingdom, time and currency format, United Kingdom. Let's go next. Install now. If you don't have a product key, just press on the bottom over here. I don't have a product key, but if you want one, you can get them really cheap from just on eBay. You can get them for like £5 or something like that. So what we want is Windows 10 Pro. And we go next. Accept the license. We want to go to the custom. There's upgrade. Or we want to, because we're going to install it for the first time, you want to go to custom over here. You see that there is one drive. You know, this is our M.2 drive that was inside over here. What we're going to do is, yes, we're going to select this drive, go next. And it's starting to load and copy the Windows. Okay, just going to have to wait while it does that. Okay, looks like our Windows has been installed. Whoa, that was quite fast. Okay. Let's see this over here. Windows coming up. Okay. We're going to go for United Kingdom because that's where I am. I'm gonna go next. Oh, well, hello. Our motherboard actually has built-in Wi-Fi and things like that. I'm gonna get the motherboard box back out. Remember, this was the motherboard box over here. Yes, we need these over here. Okay, just this little antenna. 2 screws over there. They go just in the back of the motherboard over there. There is nowhere else they can go, so don't worry. You can't go wrong over here. Perfect. We don't, the graphics card doesn't come up because we need to install drivers. And then we also need drivers for everything in here. So what you should do is connect this PC to the internet via the Ethernet cable. Okay, so now the drivers bit. Okay, I've got the PC over there and I found a much easier way to do the drivers, so I'm just going to do the drivers part again. Basically, when you are in the Windows system, get yourself a Chrome browser first, because everything else is just kind of, you can't use it. Anyway, my favorite one is the Chrome. So once you get Chrome, there's only like a few things that you need to install. Okay, so first of all, what we need is the drivers for the motherboard. So that's like the Bluetooth, the Wi-Fi, and all these things. So first of all, you're going to go to MSI website. I'm going to leave this link below as well, so you can download it. You don't have to find it. When you go to the your motherboard website, which is the MSI, and find the Prestige X570 Creation motherboard, you're going to go onto this utility part over here. The drivers, you can buy them or like download them separately as well, but you go to utility, choose your operating system, which is Windows 10 64-bit, and then we're going to want to download this Creator Center over there. You just click on this download button, it's just going to start downloading. And then you can see over here, it starts downloading. Once you hit that, unzip it and then install the program. And then you're going to get something that is over here. I'm just going to cancel this over here because we don't need that. I've got it already this installed over here. So you come over here. This is your like home over there. You can do different things over here, which is really cool. You can later like use a scenario. Have different settings for the motherboard, like when you need more power, it's just gonna come on. I don't know why it's not coming on at the moment over here. Maybe it's the internet speed not good, but we want to be over here on the third one, support, and then the live update over here. Where you on the live update bit over here, you're gonna see loads of drivers over here. First time when you open it on the utilities part, you're gonna have loads of these. Because I've already installed quite a lot of the drivers, it's not gonna show up over here. You can press scan over here. It's going to scan what drivers are missing from your motherboard. So this is the best thing that you can do. Okay, once it's scanned, you know this. You just click what you want to install. You can install the third-party utilities as well. I don't need them. So just click that and then press install, and it's going to install all the right drivers for you, and everything's working. You're probably going to have to restart your computer, but don't restart it yet if you can. Next thing, you're going to go to NVIDIA's website. I'm going to leave this below as well. And we want the driver for the graphics card. So basically what you want to download is this Geforce experience. Once you have downloaded it, click download over there. It's just going to say, do you want it over there? Yeah, just keep on the disk. I've already got it, so I'm just going to click cancel. I'm going to go Geforce experience. As you can see, I've already installed it. I'm just going to click on it. Oh, it came over there. So there we go. Once we go onto you're just going to have to create an account. Then once you've done it, you're ready to go. You're right. On this Geforce experience, go onto the drivers bit over there. And then I can see that already mine is the latest driver over here. You can check for updates. And then if your driver is not up to date, it's just going to show you an update. Click update and you can update all the drivers over there. This is going to keep your graphics card drivers up to date. Okay, so we've got the motherboard and graphics card sorted now, which is most of the things, all the audio and everything is sorted. So now, third of all, what we need to do is get NVIDIA control panel, which unfortunately doesn't come with the Geforce experience at the moment. So you have to go to the Microsoft Store. It's free, don't worry, don't have to pay for anything. And then get this NVIDIA control panel. Just search for NVIDIA control panel. It's the only thing you can do. And then just click download and install. And then you're going to have that. Once you have installed these three things, really, the motherboard, which is Creator Center, and then install all the drivers over there, the Geforce experience, and the NVIDIA control panel, you're actually ready to go. That's everything you need, and that's you sorted. After you have done that, just restart your computer. It might ask for a few times to restart. One more thing, actually do the Windows installs, Windows update as well. So how you do that is just go to Start. You can go to the settings panel over there. It went to a different screen. I'm gonna go over here, and then you can go over here, Update and Security. And then you can just check for updates. Usually when you install your like Windows first, it's just gonna have to do loads of updates perfectly. Do all the updates and then restart your computer. Off you go, and you're sorted. You have built your computer and you've installed all the drivers. You've done it yourself. Go enjoy yourself. I mean, since we are here, let's end the video over here. If you found it helpful, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and you'd like to see more videos like this one. I'd love to see and hear from you in the comment section below. If you have anything to add, if you have any comments or questions, I'm going to meet you down there. Thanks for watching. It's long enough. Let's not make this any longer. See you soon. Adios.